Alright, so when you clicked on this video, you saw a picture that said how to invest in domain names. And then you see something alluding to putting $12 into the investment and you can gain over $10,000. Well, that's because you can. You can purchase a domain name right now for around $12 for the year, and you can sell it for a pretty good profit. Now, when I purchase domain names, I use GoDaddy.com, which is a domain hosting site. But if you'd like to use a different hosting site, you can do so. But I'll be honest with you, when you first purchase that domain, let's say if you use GoDaddy or if you use another hosting provider, when you get to the checkout cart, you might see that the domain name costs way more than $12. Well, it's not because I lied to you. It's because usually they automatically check off a couple things that you really don't need. Like, for one, I personally rarely ever get the domain privacy protection. I've actually sold domains to people who were able to see my contact information, whereas if I would have had the domain privacy protection, I wouldn't have gotten those sales because they wouldn't have seen my information. So in a nutshell, when you're buying a domain, if you want to keep the cost right at around $12 for a year, what you want to do is make sure that the filters on whatever host that you use, whether you use GoDaddy, if you use Flippa, Bluehost, HostGator, whichever site you use to host your domain, you want to make sure that the filter is set to having it for 1 year, no protection, no privacy protection. Now, if you decide to add privacy protection, then it's going to cost more. But otherwise, the average is about $12 a year. Now, keep in mind, you can always add more years, and before your domain expires, your host is going to be sending you plenty of reminder emails. So there's really no rush. Now, once you've purchased the domain, here are the steps. First, you purchase the domain, then you market it for sale, you take an offer, and that's it. It's pretty simple, straightforward. That's one of the beauties of buying and selling domains, is that a domain, number one, is internet real estate. You can purchase it for extremely low and you can turn around and make a solid profit. Okay. Now, so again, the two main steps are to purchase the domain name and then market it for sale. When you're purchasing a domain name, you want to purchase the right domain name. And what I mean by this is, number one, I personally always recommend purchasing a .com domain name. No matter what anybody tells you, if you ask me, the .com domain extension will always be highest valued. Now, the second thing, you don't want your domain to be excessively long, have dashes or hyphens in it, etc. The more direct and to the point the domain name, the better. So, for example, I'm going to show you a domain name. The domain name thehulu.com is for sale. This is brought to you in part by bigpuppydog.com. The domain name thehulu.com is for sale. It's direct, it's simple, it gets to the point. Now, you can visit bigpuppydog.com or you can go directly to thehulu.com if you have interest, or if you know anybody who has interest in purchasing this domain. Come check us out at bigpuppydog.com. We want to advertise your domain name. We want your domain name to appear on our website, to appear in our catalog, and to appear in our YouTube channel. Now, a domain name like this might take a while to sell, but as you can see by the domain name, and you can see who it'll most likely be targeted to, or either that company or one of their competitors, you can see that by this domain there will most likely be a large reward. Okay? Now, if you're looking for a faster return on your domain names, but if you are okay with a smaller return, I would highly suggest focusing on geo-targeted domains. Okay? So, for example, a geo-target, which is geographically targeted domain, is highly specific. For example, let's say Broward County Cars or Broward County Auto. Okay? This is going to sell a heck of a lot faster than thehulu.com. But the question is, when you're dealing with a geo-targeted domain, do you have the hustle? Are you capable of Googling as many qualified buyers, in this case, family-owned car, which is, mom and pop car dealerships in Broward County, and there's going to be thousands. I mean, the key is when you're dealing with geo-targeted domains, and when you're cold calling to sell these domains, is you want to be able to have access to the decision maker. So you don't necessarily want to have a domain that you're trying to sell to a bunch of big corporations, because it's going to take a lot longer of a time to get to the decision maker. So you want to have a domain name that is targeted to a type of business or niche in which getting in contact with the decision maker is attainable. So, for example, I've made a lot of money selling dentist domains. Like, let's say, for example, South Dakota Dentist. I'm just throwing that up for example. North Florida Dentist, Jacksonville Dentist. I mean, if you're able to find one of those domain names, that is a very good one, because then what you do, let's say, for example, you have southdakotadentist.com. And I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure somebody owns that domain, but you literally Google every single dentist office in South Dakota, and now you're looking at a call log of hundreds. I'm talking. I'm sure there's. I don't know how many dentists are going to be in South Dakota, but I have a simple script that you will call when you make these cold calls, and you simply just get right to the point. Hey, my name is such and such. I have southdakotadentist.com for sale, and I'm checking to see if you have any interest. And I actually am going to make a video where I show you the script, and I'm going to actually make cold calls. We're going to do it for BrowardCountyCars.com, and we're going to do it for BrowardCountyAuto.com, so that you can see firsthand what it's like actually making the cold calls. You need to be able to have some kind of hustle if you're going to be selling the geo-targeted domains. So anyway, two niches that I recommend. Number one, dentistry. So geo-targeted, just whatever it is. California dentist, Sacramento dentist, and auto. Especially when you're calling up those buy here, pay here. It's easy to get to the decision maker. So you want to focus on something in which is easy to get to the decision maker. Now, if you have a domain that Walmart might want to buy from you, let's say, for example, if you have, mywalmart.com, which I'm sure Walmart probably owns that domain, but let's say, for example, you have that. That's going to take a lot longer to get to the decision maker, but it's going to be a much higher reward, which goes back to the Hulu.com example. That's going to take a little longer to work. So geo-targeted domains are a route if you want a quick turnaround, because you can literally call the people up directly, and you can tell them literally. And I have a script that we'll go over. But again, you can just, hey, my name is so and so. My name is Chris. My name is Chris, and I'm reaching out. I own the domain name BrowardCountyCars.com, and I wanted to see if you have interest. Or what I usually do is I first say, can I speak to the manager? I was looking if I could speak to the manager. Then they'll at least get somebody who's close enough to the manager, whether it's a assistant manager and honestly, even if it's not the key decision maker, go ahead and pitch them. And what I do, and this is a little trick that I do, is so let's say the assistant manager or whatever, his name is Dave. I say, hey Dave, and he's, well, Mike's not in right now, but Mike makes all the decisions. I said, okay, well, listen, write down my number, because I have this for sale, and if he buys it from me, I'll give you a commission. I'll cash app you, So anyway, gotta go. Do a quick takeaway, But if it's somebody who's not quite the head decision maker, or if they say, hey, can I take a message? Go ahead and go right into it. Just it's quick and to the point. My name is so and so. I have this domain name for sale. and I was looking to see if you guys had any interest. Second thing that I don't do a bunch of, some people will put their domains in escrow, and I don't do all that. I just sell my domains directly through GoDaddy. GoDaddy takes a piece off the top, but it's easy, it's quick, and it's safe for both parties. Anyway, I got to wrap up with part 1. I will catch up with you guys in part 2.
Hello, do you own a timeshare? Do you plan on using your time? No? You don't? Well, would you like to rent any of your time? Timeshare Renters is a timeshare travel agency. Once you become a member, we assign you to one of our dedicated rental agents. Your rental agent will communicate with you when a rental offer is available and facilitate the transaction. Your rental agent will serve as the point of contact between you and the renter. Go to timesharerenters.com now and click to become a member. Don't let your unused time go to waste. Don't let your unused points go to waste. Allow us to go to work for you. Let our agents bring you rental offers. Go to timesharerenters.com and become a member now. That's timesharerenters.com. Go to timesharerenters.com and become a member now.